everyone, pull up a chair and listen closely, because this is not gossip. This is not rumor. This is the story that Meghan Markle hoped and prayed would never ever see the light of day. The glossy saccharine fairy tale of the Duchess of Sussex, the Hollywood princess who married into Britain's most powerful family, is now crumbling at a truly breathtaking speed. And this time, the scandal cuts deeper than any Netflix snub, any Spotify humiliation, or any of their pathetic public feuds with the palace. Because now, the question isn't about Meghan's failing career, her precious titles, or her strained relationship with the royals. It's about Archie and Lilibet. And the woman who has just lit this fuse is none other than the formidable Angela Levin, the seasoned royal biographer who has spent decades inside the palace walls, who has interviewed Prince Harry himself, and who knows the royal family like few others ever will. Last week, Angela Levin dropped what can only be described as a nuclear bombshell, hinting that there are serious, unanswered questions surrounding Meghan's pregnancies and the births of her two children. And the result? Meghan has reportedly gone nuclear, threatening lawsuits, demanding silence, and lashing out like a cornered animal, like a woman with everything to hide. But the more she fights, the bigger this firestorm grows. Now, I know you guys are excited for more Beforeham, but before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on guys, what are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. So now let's break this down, point by point, because the facts are stacking up at an alarming rate. First, Angela Levin's bombshell. The fuse is well and truly lit. Let's be crystal clear about who we are talking about here. Angela Levin isn't some TikTok commentator with a wild theory or a gossip blogger chasing clicks. This is a serious woman, a respected journalist who has spent years interviewing princes, palace staff, royal insiders, and yes, even Prince Harry himself. Her book, Harry, Conversations with the Prince, is one of the most cited and respected royal biographies of the last decade. So, when a woman with this level of credibility and access hints at a deep and disturbing secrecy surrounding Meghan's pregnancies, the world sits up and listens. On a recent panel, she chose her words with the precision of a surgeon, suggesting there were profound, unanswered questions about Archie and Lilibet's births. And these comments sent absolute shockwaves through the royal watching community. Why? Because this isn't coming from Meghan's usual critics on YouTube or Twitter. It's coming from a serious journalist with decades of credibility who's putting her own reputation on the line. And here's the thing. Angela Levin didn't even accuse Meghan of any wrongdoing outright. She simply said there were questions. Questions about the narrative. Questions that the palace, Meghan, and Harry have all steadfastly refused to answer. But in the court of public opinion, a silence like that, a refusal to clarify, speaks volumes. And what was Meghan Markle's response? Lawyers. Of course it was lawyers. It's always lawyers. Instead of calmly addressing the concerns, instead of releasing a simple, clarifying statement, Meghan's team reportedly rushed to threaten immediate and aggressive legal action against anyone repeating Angela Levin's claims. And this is where critics and I say that Meghan made her first massive tactical mistake. Because legal threats don't prove innocence, they only raise suspicion. If there is nothing to hide, why are you acting like there is? The royal historian, Rafe Hadel-Mano, put it bluntly on a recent panel. The British royal family has dealt with rumors for centuries, he said. You don't shut them down with lawyers, you shut them down with transparency. Meghan chose lawyers. And now, commentators all over the world are asking the simple question, is this about protecting her privacy, or is this about hiding the truth? And here's where things get even messier and more suspicious. The royal family is not defending Meghan. Not once has King Charles, Prince William's strength, or even the palace press office come out to squash these rumors. We have heard nothing. Total, deafening, and in my opinion, intentional silence. And you have to contrast this with what we saw earlier this year, when our magnificent Princess Catherine faced those wild, disgusting conspiracy theories about her health. The palace eventually, and rightly, released information to calm the public and shut down the madness. But with Meghan on this incredibly serious issue, nothing. Royal author Tom Bower told GB News, the palace knows the truth about Archie and Lilibet. If it supported Meghan's story, They would have shut this down months ago. Their silence tells you everything you need to know. And that silence is fueling the public's worst suspicions. For years, royal reporters have pointed out the strange, unsettling inconsistencies surrounding Archie and Lilibet's birth certificates. Archie's birth location was kept a state secret for days. Meghan's name on the certificate was bizarrely changed after the fact from Rachel Meghan to Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. And of course, there were no official photos from the hospital, unlike the joyous tradition upheld by William and Kate, who proudly posed for the world's cameras just hours after each of their children's births. Individually, maybe you could explain away one of these things, but when you take them all together, critics argue, and I agree, that it paints a disturbing picture of unusual, almost paranoid secrecy, one that stands in stark, glaring contrast to centuries of royal tradition. Finally, let's talk about Harry, because his reaction isn't helping their cause one bit. Multiple insiders have reported that Harry has become angry, defensive, and paranoid whenever this topic comes up. Instead of addressing the legitimate questions openly and honestly, he lashes out at journalists, he screams racism at his critics, and he paints any and all skepticism as a personal hatred toward Meghan. But here's the problem. The public sees this for what it is. It's overcompensation. If there is nothing to hide, why are you acting like the walls are closing in? Even the great Lady Colin Campbell said on her own YouTube channel, Harry's fury only makes people wonder what he's trying to protect. Anger is not proof. Facts are proof. And right now, the facts, or rather the lack of them, look very, very bad for the Sussexes. Meghan Markle clearly hoped that sympathy would be on her side. She has miscalculated badly. Across Britain, public sentiment is turning viciously against her. Call-in radio shows, newspaper editorials, and online forums have absolutely exploded with fury, with people demanding clarity over Archie and Lilibet's births. The GB News host Mike Graham put it brutally but accurately. If Meghan thinks she can bully Britain into silence with lawyers, she's delusional. This is a country that survived the Blitz. We won't be pushed around by a former actress from Hollywood. The backlash isn't just coming from royal loyalists anymore. Even middle-of-the-road commentators, people who were once sympathetic to Meghan after that Oprah interview, are now accusing her of playing the victim while actively hiding the truth. The result? Meghan's public image is collapsing faster than Buckingham Palace's old brick walls. And here is where things get truly dangerous, not just for them, but for the monarchy itself. Archie and Lilibet are not just Meghan's children. They are royal heirs, officially 6th and 7th in line to the British throne. And that means that questions about their parentage or their birth circumstances are not just tabloid gossip. They are a profound constitutional issue. The British constitutional lawyer John O'Sullivan has warned, if doubts exist about royal succession, Parliament could be forced to intervene. The monarchy cannot afford even a whiff of illegitimacy. Just imagine that for a second. Meghan's obsession with secrecy, triggering a historic constitutional crisis, forcing lawmakers to debate whether her children are even eligible for the throne. For King Charles, who is already dealing with so much, this would be an absolute nightmare scenario. And critics are saying that Meghan's silence is what is pushing Britain toward that very cliff edge. It wasn't that long ago that Meghan was Hollywood's golden girl, but after Angela Levin's bombshell, even Hollywood is distancing itself. Spotify executives have already called them f***ing grifters. Netflix has gone suspiciously quiet about renewing their contract, and major studios are now reportedly wary of working with them amid this growing royal drama. The PR expert Mark Borowski told The Times, Meghan wanted to be the new Diana. Instead, she's becoming the new Wallis Simpson, a royal exile surrounded by scandal. The Meghan brand, once supposedly worth millions, is now radioactive. And every time she threatens a lawsuit, the story just gets bigger. It's called the Streisand effect, when trying to hide something only makes people more curious about it. Angela Levin herself hinted at this when reporters asked if she feared Meghan's lawyers. She just smirked and said, I've dealt with worse. If Meghan sues, the truth comes out in court. Perhaps that's what she's afraid of. That one comment sent social media into an absolute overdrive, because a lawsuit would mean sworn testimony, evidence disclosure, and intense court scrutiny. things that Meghan may desperately want to avoid. Finally, let's talk about the palace's silence again, because many of us now believe it's not a sign of weakness. It is a deliberate and ruthless strategy. The royal historian Dr. David Starkey explained on Talk TV, the monarchy survives by outlasting scandals. The palace knows Meghan is imploding. Why should they intervene when she's so busy digging her own grave? By refusing to comment, the palace keeps its hands clean while Meghan is forced to fight Angela Levin, the press, and global public opinion all at once. And so far, it is working. Polls show that the popularity of King Charles and Prince William is actually rising, while Meghan and Harry's numbers are sinking to all-time lows. The royal family is winning this battle without firing a single shot. With all of these points laid out, the situation looks absolutely catastrophic for Meghan Markle. Public opinion is ferociously against her. Parliament may be forced to weigh in. Her Hollywood deals are evaporating. Her legal threats are backfiring spectacularly. And the palace is calmly watching her burn. And through it all, Angela Levin is not backing down. In fact, she has hinted that there is more she hasn't revealed yet. And if Meghan thinks this storm is over, she is profoundly wrong. Because the one thing that is worse than rumors is the truth finally coming out on its own. The saga is spiraling out of control. And the deeper we all dig, the uglier it gets. This isn't over. This is just the beginning of the end for them. What do you guys think of this whole insane situation? What is Meghan Markle hiding? Why the threats and why the silence from the palace? Let me know everything you are thinking down in the comments. Let's really get into this, because this is a story that is not going away. And make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because this scandal is going to shake the royal family to its very core. Until next time, take care, ta-ta, and bye for now.